What do most people misunderstand about discipline equals freedom?
Um, I don't know. I think it was pretty simple to understand.
I agree, but it's with simplicity comes an awful lot of opportunity for people to.
Yeah. I guess there's always people that, as they're trying to fish for a contrarian thing to say, which I think you kind of have to fish for it. I think you have to work for it to get with that statement. But, oh, there's such a thing as too much discipline. And if you have so much discipline in your life, then you won't be enjoying your life. And cool. Yep. If you are so disciplined that you never go out and you never eat a pizza, cool. You might be bummed out. Yep. You can go too far with it.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, if you have an occasional pizza because they taste really good and once a month or whatever, you go down to the pizza place and you get a pizza, cool. Good for you. That's going to be awesome. And that's the reward for freedom. But I think it's pretty straightforward. And I guess if I was to fish a little bit more, I would say that the idea that discipline is natural or it's
innate.
Yeah. And actually my middle daughter, who's a jiu-jitsu player, she was actually speaking the other day. And one of the things that she said was she was speaking about discipline. And she said, I was training. My dad and I, we went to the gym the other day and we were both training, and I was training with, the guys that I train with, and she was training with the people she trains with. And it's a Sunday and we're training. We're both like really tired when we're done, and we get done and we're kind of sitting up on the mats and we're talking. And I look at her and I said, not one part of me wanted to come train today. Like 0% of me wanted to come train today. And I'm so glad I came and trained, because, you always feel great when you get done training. But so my daughter went and spoke to this group and she said, my dad, Mr. Discipline, who's been on this path for however many decades, my dad didn't want to train. And he had to go, hey, doesn't matter whether you want to do it or not, you got to have the discipline, go do it. And he did, and he got done with it. So, and I think that's a good thing to remember, that discipline isn't just, oh, this person is, quote, more disciplined than this other person. It's like, no, this person is choosing discipline, this person is not. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's an important thing to remember. You have the option of being disciplined. You don't have the option of being born 6'4", right? You don't have that option. You either are or you're not. But you do have the option of choosing discipline or not.
So discipline, not necessarily something that you're born with?
I don't think so at all. I think maybe there's some small percentage of it. Maybe this person's a little bit more innately disciplined than this other person, but I think it's a choice.
Well, how much of it's habit as well, and momentum? As you said, that I think this is one of the vicious cycles that people get into, and it's also why you see people that have unbelievably outsized results in life, and those who kind of have consistently bad results in life, because each positive experience is self-reinforcing. It tells you a story about the sort of person you are, and you start to build on good habits, and these good habits show you more good habits, and you get a little bit more confidence, and you get a little bit more, and you say, well, this is part of my identity now. I actually can push myself a little bit. So, and you're like, holy fuck, like, it's the 1% per day increase, and you end up at some unbelievably big number by the end of the year. But you also see the opposite. And this is how you get, very diverging outcomes from people that started at relatively similar places.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. And this is something that I've said for a while, and is discipline begets discipline, right? If you make a bad decision in the morning and you decide you're not going to get out of bed, you decide you're not going to work out, when you get to the office, the donuts are that much more tempting and you're probably going to eat one. Whereas if you woke up early, you worked out, you got a little bit of work done before you even showed up to work, you show up to work and now there's donuts, you're like, I don't need those right now. You just make better decisions. And
are you on the front foot today or on the back foot today?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the compounding thing for sure. And you make one good little decision that leads to another good little opportunity. And I'm sure you have friends like this too. I have friends that made just small decision after small bad decision after small bad decision, and they end up in terrible, terrible places.
Yeah.
Which is awful to see.
An interesting pivot on the make one good decision begets another good decision is when you've got a difficult conversation to have. My friend Alex says, the life that you want is on the other side of the difficult conversations you're unprepared to have. And he uses this analogy of when, you work up to it for ages and the stress and you're in the Humvee, metaphorically driving up to the conversation, and you finally do it and you go, oh, I feel amazing. And then immediately, like a psychopath, like a serial killer, you look around and you go, what other bad conversations can I have? And you're like seeking out targets for, you're like, oh, I need to ring my mom and tell her that she did that thing. I've got that guy that didn't deliver the Amazon parcel correctly, and I need to speak to this supplier, blah, blah, blah. But it's the same with that. This sort of momentum thing is a big deal. And it's why...
In that vein, when I don't feel like going to train jujitsu, or I don't feel like waking up, or I don't feel like working out, whatever that thing is, that feeling that I mentioned to my daughter of like, I'm so happy I came and trained today. I know that feeling so well that it just totally overrides the
Oh, so you're projecting
weakness.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh yeah, I know how much better I'm going to feel in an hour and a half. I know that feeling so well. And I also know the other feeling, which is, man, I didn't train today. It was Sunday and I decided I needed a day off. It's like, no, train. I know that. And I think that is very helpful.
What's still driving you now from a discipline perspective?
Well, I mean, in jiu-jitsu, it's just, I love jiu-jitsu. Hey, and again, if you want to do something, how much discipline does it take? You know what I mean? I love
it. Literally takes more discipline to not do the thing.
Yeah. Like you get injured and your arms, you can tell that your arm, every time you train, it's getting a little bit worse. It takes more discipline to be like, all right, I need to take a day off.
You with the neck.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing these things. I enjoy working out. Do I enjoy working out every single day? No. And that's when it's like, oh yeah, but I know the results of the long run. And I think that's an important thing that I've talked about. And again, talked about this with my daughter, is like, if you give up a little bit today, like you can't get it back. Like if you skip a workout today, you can't, there's no possible way to get that back. When you let something go, it's gone. And Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome didn't fall apart on a day either. It didn't fall apart because of one thing. It falls apart just a little bit at a time.
Yeah, nobody gets fit overnight. Nobody gets fat overnight. Either.
Exactly. And so you can't submit. You can't submit. You have to get in there and keep it going. And I know the results of not doing the thing are not good. And I enjoy doing the thing, so in order to keep doing the thing, you got to do the thing.
Yes, it is. It's this endless fucking infinite regress of doing the thing.
Yeah.
I kind of get the sense as well with that story about not wanting to go to the gym. I do think that that's the difference between discipline and motivation, right? Motivation. I didn't want to do the thing. Discipline. I did the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing.
Yep. And look, I've said many times, you can't count on motivation. Like it's not going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Or it may, but it may not be. And
it's lovely when it comes along.
If you wait for it to be there, you might be waiting more than you should.